There's a version of you out there waiting, the one who's already made it, the one who's proud, the one who smiles every morning. Because you didn't quit when everything told you to stop. You can't meet that version of yourself if you walk away now. Every single time life gets heavy, your mind tries to protect you. It whispers, it's too much. You're tired. Take the easy way out. But deep down, you already know. Quitting doesn't make the pain disappear. It only transfers it to regret. You see, progress isn't loud. It's not glamorous. It's not those big victories you see on social media. It's quiet. It's the late nights, the early mornings, the days when no one's clapping for you. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's believing in a future you can't see yet. And yes, there are going to be days when you fall apart. That's okay. But what matters is that you don't stay there. You pick yourself up. You take one more step. Because one day, that step, that one act of courage, will change everything. When you look back, you'll realize that every struggle was preparing you. Every moment of doubt was shaping your strength. Every setback was a setup for the person you were becoming. So if you're tired, rest. But don't quit. If you're scared, breathe. But don't stop. If no one believes in you right now, let that fuel you. Because one day, you'll thank yourself for not giving up when it would have been easy to. You owe it to your future self to keep going. Not because it's easy, but because you're stronger than you think. And one day, when you finally get there, you'll whisper to yourself, I'm glad I didn't quit. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, your future self is watching you. That version of you, stronger, wiser, more confident, is silently waiting on the other side of your decisions. The habits you form, the choices you make, and the way you respond to challenges are shaping that person right now. When life throws difficulties your way, it's easy to think that giving up will bring relief, that quitting will free you from pressure. But in truth, every time you give up, you delay the arrival of the person you're meant to become. The future version of you doesn't just appear magically, it's created by the actions you take today, by the strength you show when no one else is watching. There's a powerful thought that can completely change your mindset. You're living today as the past of your future self. Think about that for a second. One day, the struggles you're facing right now will just be stories, lessons, and memories. But how those stories sound depends entirely on what you do with your present moment. Will your future self look back with pride, grateful that you endured, or with regret, wishing you had held on a little longer? That answer is being written every single time you decide to keep moving forward despite the weight you carry. Your future self is counting on you to stay disciplined even when you don't see results. Progress often hides behind consistency, behind those boring, repetitive actions that seem to go unnoticed. Every small step you take is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. When you keep showing up, even on the days when you feel invisible, you're building strength, resilience, and character. Those qualities will become the armor your future self wears when facing even greater challenges. That person doesn't need perfection from you, they need your persistence. Sometimes you'll doubt yourself, and that's okay. Self-doubt is a natural response when you're walking towards something bigger than what you've known before. But even in those moments, remember this. The future version of you already knows you can do it. They've seen the results of your hard work. They've seen the transformation. They're proud of the nights you cried and still showed up the next morning. They're grateful that you didn't let fear win. That version of you already exists, waiting for you to bridge the gap with your effort and patience. When you're tempted to quit, close your eyes and picture that person. Picture the look on their face when they realize you didn't give up. Picture the peace they feel, the freedom they've earned, the pride that fills their heart because you stayed in the fight. That's the reward you're working for. Not the applause, not the recognition, but the quiet satisfaction of knowing you honored your potential. Every day you have two choices, to step toward that future or to walk away from it. And every small act of courage, every decision to keep going brings you closer to the version of you that you'll one day thank. Pain is unavoidable, but regret is optional. When things get hard, the temptation to quit feels comforting, like a release from the weight you're carrying. It whispers that if you just stop trying, the struggle will disappear. But it never truly does. The moment you give up, the pain doesn't vanish. It transforms. It becomes regret, a quieter but heavier burden that stays with you far longer than the struggle ever would. Pain from effort fades, but regret from giving up lingers. You can recover from exhaustion, from failure, from rejection, but it's almost impossible to escape the voice inside that says, "What if I had kept going?" There's a certain honesty in struggle that regret can't offer. Struggle tells you that you're trying, that you're still in the game, that you still care. Regret, on the other hand, is a reminder of what you walked away from. It shows up years later when you see someone succeed in something you once dreamed of. It creeps in when you realize the opportunity you had wasn't lost. It was abandoned. That's what quitting does. It replaces the discomfort of progress with the ache of maybe. And that ache doesn't go away. It follows you into your quiet moments, into the times when you wonder what your life could have been if you had just held on a little longer. The truth is, quitting gives you temporary comfort at the cost of long-term fulfillment. It feels easier in the moment, but deep down it steals your confidence. Because when you quit once, it becomes easier to do it again. You start doubting your own promises, your own word, your own strength. Every time you back down from something that matters, you teach yourself that your limits define you. But the opposite is true. Your limits are meant to be tested, not obeyed. The pain you feel while pushing forward is proof that you're alive, that you're growing, that you're becoming someone capable of more than yesterday. The people who build the lives they dream of aren't the ones who never feel like quitting. They're the ones who feel it deeply but keep going anyway. They understand that discipline hurts less than disappointment. They know that one more try can be the difference between a story of success and a story of regret. When you refuse to quit, even while your body is tired and your mind is screaming for rest, you create a moment that you remember for the rest of your life. A moment where you chose courage over comfort. And when that moment passes, you'll realize something powerful. The pain you feared was never as heavy as you imagined, but the regret of quitting would have been unbearable. The truth is, life doesn't punish you for failing. It punishes you for giving up on yourself. The discomfort of persistence builds strength, but the comfort of quitting builds nothing. If you can endure the temporary pain of effort, you'll earn the permanent pride of knowing you never surrendered when it mattered most. Progress isn't always loud or visible. It doesn't always come with recognition, applause, or validation. Most of the time, it happens quietly in the background of your daily grind, where no one sees the effort you're putting in. It's in the mornings when you wake up before everyone else to work on your goals, and no one is there to notice. It's in the late nights when you're tired but still push yourself a little further because you know what you're working toward. The truth is, real growth happens in silence. It's built through consistency, through the small, ordinary moments that seem insignificant in the present, but become the foundation of something extraordinary later on. We live in a world that glorifies results but rarely celebrates the process. Everyone sees the transformation, the success, the finished product, but almost no one sees the effort, the discipline, and the countless failures it took to get there. That's why progress often feels invisible. You might feel like you're not moving forward, that nothing is changing, but what you don't see is that every small effort is compounding. Every repetition is strengthening your foundation, and every day of persistence is bringing you closer to the breakthrough you're working for. Just because you can't see the results yet doesn't mean the work isn't working. Growth is like a seed. You plant it, nurture it, and for a while it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, everything is happening. The quiet phases of progress are where your character is tested. It's easy to stay motivated when you're being praised, but it takes real strength to keep going when no one notices your effort. The silent grind shapes you into someone unshakable because it teaches you to rely on discipline, not validation. When you stop needing others to see your progress, you become unstoppable. You learn to trust the process even when it's invisible. That's where resilience is born, in the unseen, uncelebrated effort that no one claps for. There will be moments when you feel like giving up because you're not getting the recognition you deserve or the progress you expected. But remember, success doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly after long periods of silence. The moment you're about to give up might be the moment before your results finally start to show. That's how progress works. It tests your patience before rewarding your persistence. The people who achieve great things aren't necessarily more talented or lucky. They're simply the ones who didn't stop when progress was silent. So when you're working hard and it feels like no one sees you, keep going anyway. When you're improving slowly and doubt starts whispering that it's not enough, remind yourself that the best things take time. Every unnoticed effort, every quiet struggle, every late night sacrifice is creating momentum. The silence of your progress today is the sound of your foundation being built. And when the time comes, when everything finally aligns, the world will see what you've been building all along. And it'll look like it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth, it took years of silent effort to get there. There will be days when you wake up and the weight of the world feels heavier than usual. Days when motivation disappears and every task feels impossible. Your body feels drained, your mind feels cluttered, and your heart feels tired. That's normal. It doesn't mean you're weak or unworthy. It means you're human. The journey to success is not meant to be constant motion. Even the strongest need to pause, breathe, and recover. But there's a difference between resting and quitting. Resting is a strategy. Quitting is surrender. Resting helps you recharge so you can rise stronger. Quitting robs you of the chance to ever see what could have been. Too many people confuse exhaustion with failure. They think feeling tired means they've reached their limit. But in reality, it often means you've been giving everything you have, and your body and mind are simply asking for a moment of care. Rest isn't weakness, it's preparation. It's the space where your strength rebuilds, your focus resets, and your determination refuels. Every fighter knows when to pause, not to give up the fight, but to gather the energy to win it. The same applies to life. Pushing through without rest only leads to burnout, but taking a pause gives you the clarity to keep going with purpose. When you rest, you allow yourself to step back and see the bigger picture. Sometimes we get so caught up in our struggles that we forget why we started. Rest reminds you of your why. It gives you a moment to breathe, reflect, and remember that fatigue doesn't erase progress. The effort you've put in still counts. The hours you've invested still matter. Rest is a moment, not an ending. You're not losing momentum, you're preparing to return stronger than before. People often believe that success requires constant motion, that if they stop for even a moment, they'll fall behind. But success isn't about speed, it's about endurance. It's about who can stay in the game the longest. And no one lasts long without moments of rest. Every storm needs calm, every heartbeat needs a pause, and every dreamer needs time to breathe. The pause doesn't take away your progress. It protects it. When you're tired, allow yourself to rest without guilt. Close your eyes, step back, and recharge. But make a promise to yourself when the rest is done, you'll return. You'll get up again, even if it's slower, even if it hurts, even if you have to crawl. Because resting is not quitting. It's a reminder that you still care enough to keep going. Rest when you need to, but never confuse that with giving up. Giving up ends your story, but rest simply turns the page. One day, you'll look back and realize that the moments you allowed yourself to pause were the same moments that gave you the strength to keep moving forward. Every struggle you face is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. It might not feel like it in the moment, but every challenge you endure is carving depth into your character. The pain, the confusion, the frustration, they all serve a purpose. They are not signs that you're failing, they're signs that you're growing. Growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It comes through resistance, through the moments that test your patience and demand your courage. The person you're becoming is being molded through every obstacle you overcome, every hardship you survive, and every time you choose to rise again after being knocked down. Life has a way of teaching through difficulty. Every setback is a lesson disguised as pain. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to believe the universe is working against you, but often it's just redirecting you. Struggles reveal who you are at your core. They strip away the surface and force you to confront your truth, your fears, your limits, your beliefs. That confrontation is uncomfortable, but it's necessary, because only when you face your weaknesses do you start to build real strength. Without struggle, there is no progress. Without resistance, there is no growth. Think about how muscles grow. They don't get stronger by resting or staying comfortable. They grow by being challenged, stretched, and broken down so they can rebuild stronger. The same applies to your life. Every emotional or mental struggle is strengthening you in ways you can't see yet. Every time you choose perseverance over comfort, you are expanding your capacity to handle more. What feels unbearable now is actually raising your threshold for what you can endure in the future. That's how resilience is formed, not in easy days, but in the hardest ones. The struggles you face today are training you for the victories you'll claim tomorrow. You may not understand the reason behind your pain right now, but one day you'll look back and realize that every challenge had meaning. The heartbreak taught you empathy. The rejection taught you patience. The failure taught you humility. The setbacks taught you determination. Every experience, even the painful ones, is part of a bigger plan preparing you for the version of yourself you're meant to become. When life feels like it's breaking you, it's often building you. The difference lies in your perspective. If you see your struggles as punishments, you'll feel defeated. But if you see them as lessons, you'll feel empowered. The truth is, nothing you go through is wasted. Every tear, every sleepless night, every disappointment adds something valuable to your journey. You are being refined, not ruined. So the next time life tests you, remember that you're not being destroyed. You're being strengthened. The pain you feel today is creating the power you'll need tomorrow. One day, you'll look back at every obstacle and realize they weren't there to stop you. They were there to prepare you for something greater than you ever imagined. When you look back on your life one day, it won't be the easy moments that define you. It'll be the ones that tested you. The nights you kept going when no one noticed, the days you showed up when no one believed in you, the moments you refused to quit even when your heart was tired. That's what builds greatness. You may not realize it now, but every act of persistence is rewriting your future. Every small step forward, no matter how quiet or invisible it feels, is a promise to your future self that you're not done yet. You are building something powerful, not overnight, not without effort, but through the steady, unshakable decision to keep going no matter what. You've faced battles that others will never see. You've carried weights that would have broken a weaker version of you. And yet here you are, still standing, still fighting, still reaching. That's not failure. That's strength. The kind of strength that doesn't come from perfection, but from endurance. From getting back up when it would have been easier to stay down. From believing in a future you can't see but can still feel deep inside your heart. There will always be voices of doubt, setbacks that shake your confidence, and moments where the path seems endless. But remember this: nothing powerful ever comes from comfort. Growth demands struggle. Success demands patience. And the life you dream of demands that you trust yourself enough to keep going, even when no one else understands your vision. One day, you'll thank yourself for every time you pushed through. For every "I can't" you turned into "I did." For every single moment you chose courage over fear. So, as you move forward, carry this truth with you. Your story isn't finished yet. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. Every sunrise brings another chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you think. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep going. The future you're dreaming of is already waiting for you. All you have to do is not stop walking toward it. Thank you for being here, for showing up, and for choosing to grow. If this message spoke to you, take a deep breath and remind yourself you're not behind, you're becoming. Keep fighting for the life you deserve. Keep believing, keep showing up, and never ever give up. Because one day, you'll look back at this very moment, and you'll thank yourself for not quitting. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep going. Because your best days are still ahead.